I'll never forget the day that I was driving to school. I was going to a computer trade school at the time, and it was about a 30-minute drive. And that day, I had something on my mind and I didn't know what it was. And I kept driving past school and I was like, this isn't what I want to do for the rest of my life. And I was just driving around thinking about what opportunities are out there. And for some reason, the Navy's slogan back then was,
see your recruiter or call toll-free. It's not just a job, it's an adventure.
It's not just a job, it's an adventure. And I knew that I wanted some kind of adventure in my life. I wanted to go places and see things. And so after driving around for about 3 hours and just, trying to clear my head on the pavement, I ended up at the recruiter's office and I joined the Navy 2 weeks later. So when I retired from the Navy, we'd only started YouTube maybe a year prior to that. I got a contract job working with the military through behavioral health sciences, which was really exciting. The YouTube was growing. We were trying to get better at what we were doing, and I would go to work, I would come home, and I was either editing or in the garage filming or out on the trails filming over the weekend, and I had no free time. And my wife was seeing that I was a little over my head, and I told her, I was like, something's got to give here. Either I cut back on YouTube, which I really didn't want to do because it was exciting to see how that was growing and how we were connecting with so many different viewers, or give up this really nice government job that I had, and I was very thankful to have that job. And so a conversation took place between her and I over 6 months, and she thought I was a little crazy when I first mentioned that maybe I should go do YouTube. And I thought I was a little crazy at the time as well, but the time just seemed right, and it was a leap of faith, and it was a great decision. When I was in middle school, my mom sat down with me going over the classes that I was going to take, and she let me pick a bunch of stuff, but she made me pick drama club. And I did not want to do drama club. I wanted to do shop. She wasn't budging. She was going to make me take drama club. And of course, I look back now and I laugh because it was one of the best decisions that she ever made me do. So the very first time that we went off-road in the Jeep, my son, unbeknownst to me, was in the back seat with his phone filming a little video. I was so focused on making sure I was doing all the off-road things right the first time that I wasn't really paying any attention to what he was up to. And we had an amazing day our first time out, and on the way home, he edited a little video on his phone, and I was like blown away. Let's document every time we go out. Let's do a video like that. And he was all in, and so that's how it started. We just started making these little tiny videos, and at the time, TrailRecon wasn't even a thought. We were just posting these on our family YouTube channel for us, but people were searching up and watching these videos, and they had questions. They wanted to know where we were going and how hard was the trail and what had to be done to our vehicle to go explore. And so through that evolution, we just decided, let's try to make a better video and see if we can answer some questions. And the early year videos were really rough. They're laughable if you go back and watch them now, but it taught us a lot, and we had a lot of fun doing it. And fast forward 9 years, and now it's an amazing thing that we're able to do. I know being in the military and working medical in the military, and I also worked behavioral health science when I got out of the military for a little while. And I know that it's therapeutically beneficial to be out here in wilderness, having an adventure. And the minute I get out here, I get away from the San Diego traffic, and I get out here and you smell the fresh air and you see the dirt on the trail, and you just have that little bit of freedom, all the weight of the world is off you. All the emails and all the cell phone calls and all that is now behind me, because now I'm off grid and I can come out here and focus on the adventure. When you're in a really good obstacle, you're so focused on calm decisions that you're not thinking about everything. And if you allow yourself to get stressed in a situation where, oh, I might get stuck or I might have to pull winch, that's not the headspace you want to be in out here. And what I find is if you just take your time and just be calm, be joyful about the situation and embrace it and know that there's a light on the other side of this rock, and all I got to do is figure out the way to get over it. There's a little bit of peace in that, but there's also a sense of achievement, and I love that aspect of it. There's something about the mechanical gene that can't be explained. I have always been taking things apart and putting things back together. I've always loved that. And when you take that component and you translate it into a vehicle, there's this new passion, because a vehicle it's an expression, and it's a little bit of mechanical art. And when you do things like modify your vehicle, you're taking this machine and now you're making it your own. You're personalizing it. And I think non-car folks, there's nothing wrong with being a non-car person, but they just think of their vehicle as transportation. And I think of my vehicles as kind of a soul to getting out here and exploring. For me in the Navy, I loved teaching junior sailors. I didn't realize that was something that I enjoyed, but over time I was like, wow, I love watching people evolve and learn how to do medicine better, and then to see them practice that, it gave me a lot of joy. And so coming out here off-roading and overlanding, there's a lot of people that are new, and of course we were new when we started, and we went through a lot of trials and tribulations, and I want to help people not go through some of those same trials and tribulations. And so I don't think as the community as my junior sailors, but in a way that's the same kind of thing, as I want them to come out here and be successful and have an amazing adventure and make memories with their family and friends. I never thought that TrailRecon would have evolved into what it is today, and I'm so thankful to have an audience that wants to follow along on our adventures, and I'm blessed to be able to inspire people to come out here and do this.